Hello everyone, it's me, Juan Plus, back again with a video. Today, we are going to be reacting to Game Theory, Toad's Deadly Secret. Ooh. Now, yes, this is a little bit of a rerun right now, but we just got done reacting to both Mario theories about, Rosalina's secret, as well as Mario possibly being a fraud, as in he is basically Homelander's levels of evil. Both of those videos will be at the end. But today we're just going to be reacting to Toad now. It's Toad's time to get exposed. So, well, not exposed, but Toad to be, his secrets to be revealed. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
What's the deal with the Mushroom Kingdom? I get that Princess Peach rules over it, but seriously, where are all the other human beings? And for that matter, why does the Mushroom
Yeah, I
Kingdom
really want to
have
know
a
what happened to the
ruler?
humans.
And then what about royal succession? Princess Peach still isn't a queen, she's a princess. Mario doesn't even seem close to becoming a prince, and as weirdly suggestive as their sweet little notes can be construed, it really doesn't seem like either of them are putting much work into making a little Mushroom Kingdom heir. And for that matter, what's Bowser's deal? Why is he, demonic lord of the Koopas, so intent on kidnapping this lousy princess instead of getting it together and cranking out a straight military victory? The point is, something awful fishy is
my boy Bowser just wants love.
This time, I submit to you that we're not looking for a flat-out villain. No, that would be too obvious. This time, our person of interest is someone secretly nefarious, someone coasting along while the heavies take all our attention. Slide on those vests and pull up your diapers, because I'm talking about Toad. What is Toad?
Do they for real wear diapers?
What are toads?
Like, god dang.
They all look the same, and yet Peach, their ruler, looks nothing like them. Well, would you believe me if I said that they're a parasitic life form that took over the bodies of the Mushroom Kingdom's original citizens?
What?
I don't blame you. Those gravelly voiced bubbleheads don't look too threatening after all. And it seems like a pretty extreme claim, but give me
Nah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was gonna say, please, Toad, threatening? I can solo that man. But then I remembered, wait, I'm in the Mushroom Kingdom. I'm in their turf now. They know what block has a power up and one block has a disadvantage. Like the tiny mushroom. I'm cooked.
Your life, and I may just change that attitude. Let's look at the facts. Mushrooms play a very prominent role in the Mario franchise.
Obviously.
And Toad's design is just another reflection of that. I mean, seriously, he has a mushroom growing out of his head. And before you call me out on it just being a hat, yes, he removed it in the TV series. That's a non-canon source. In the games, it has all.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Me and Kevin watched the Super Mario Bros. Show for like religiously. I'm not gonna lie, me and Kevin enjoy that show religiously.
Been firmly planted on his head, no matter how fast he's running, being shot out of a pipe, or whatever. Why is that important? Well, there's a real-world fungus that grows out of your head and can control your mind and body. Pretty terrifying, right? Well, I believe that whatever the fungi known as Toad actually is, it behaves a heck of a lot like a mutated strain from the genus Cordyceps. If you played The Last of Us, you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But for those of you who prefer cold hard facts to half-reference 2-year-old video games, Cordyceps in nature is famous for infecting things like ants. The fungus exerts control over the mind of the host, forcing it to an environment with the proper temperature and humidity for its growth, as well as the optimal wind conditions for the spread of its spores. For ants, this often means climbing up and attaching themselves to the side of a plant, but for the toads, this would mean any number of dark, moist, out-of-the-way places, which, surprise, is very often exactly where you find them, huddled together in groups, or all by themselves. Not Bowser's castle. There, waiting. Then it starts to send out little threads called mycelia. As its mycelium threads slowly replace the body of the host dies, and the spore-bearing fruit body emerges, often near the head. Sound like some NPCs you may know and love? Dang. You like them apples. I mean, them fungi. So I know what you're thinking. Man, nature is scary. Yeah. Yes, it is. It's like a Fox show from the early 90s, when fungi attack. You're also probably thinking that if the people themselves weren't mushroom-like until they were body snatched, then why is it called the Mushroom Kingdom in the first place? Yeah. Well, there's an easy answer to that as we turn to the original manual for Super Mario Bros. The manual introduced the Goombas, or should I say the little Goombas, as mushrooms who betrayed the Mushroom Kingdom, implying that the Mushroom Kingdom is actually their homeland, and that it's the Goombas who were the land's namesake in the first place. And before you start yelling at me about Goomba Goombas actually being chestnuts because their Japanese name is Karibo, Takashi Tezuka, assistant director and game designer for Mario 1, in an interview with Satoru
So he's
Iwata,
OG.
confirmed that no matter what you think, Goombas are, in fact, based off shiitake mushrooms. Assistant director and game designer. That's a primary source, my friends. So if this is their kingdom,
you can't deny it.
Displaced from it, it would be natural they would want to defect to Bowser if it meant getting their homeland back. It might also explain why one of Bowser's core troops are so weak. They're not really fighters at all. They're just refugees of war, victimized by the Toads.
Bro, what kind of art style is this?
Get back home.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not disrespecting it, but dang.
Mind-controlling mushrooms? Yeah, okay, sure. But I wouldn't present you with this theory if there wasn't more. Remember that mycelium I mentioned earlier?
Yes.
Those thin fungal threads that slowly replace the host's flesh? Well, they serve another important purpose in real life, too. Crisscrossing through the soil, connecting plants and fungus to a vast, natural, underground fungal internet.
What?
Seriously. Mushrooms are scary, my theorists. Around 90% of land plants are in some sort of beneficial relationship with fungi, and it's through this subterranean mycelial network that these organisms can do anything from helping out their neighbors by sharing nutrients and advantageous information to sending toxic chemicals to sabotage an unwelcome invading force. Let me re-emphasize that. This is a fungal thread network connecting 90% of the world's plant life. It's like the internet for plants. It's extremely beneficial for pre-existing flora to be plugged into this network. It even boosts their immune system. So it's no stretch to imagine that in the mushroom kingdom where the fungi have achieved sentience, that the natural internet...
Bro, I'm more worried that the hills have eyes. Like, everything has eyes? Like, god dang.
That would do much more, making the landscape seem almost alive. Which sounds totally crazy at first, until you realize that all those weirdly shaped Mushroom Kingdom hills really do have eyes. Which, when you think about it, is much scarier than the movie by the same name. And if you're thinking I'm going to be relying on a retro game and an old, poorly translated manual for all my evidence here, think again. We recently had a game focused entirely on Toad, and it revealed a lot.
Gosh, I remember that we're watching old videos from the past. Dang, Captain Toad, that was so long ago, bro. That is so long ago. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, now the new thing on the block is the Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 teasers, which I did a reaction over on my main channel. If, you know, II card right there if you want to go check it out. But, dang, man. This video was long ago.
In a recent GameSpot interview with producer of Captain Toad Koichi Hayashida, he explained that toads don't have genders in the way that we think of them. He also went out of his way to confirm that Captain Toad and Toadette aren't romantically involved in any way.
What?
Why are we celebrating two video game characters not getting it on? Well, glad I asked. Most fungi reproduce using spores in an extremely non-sexual process that involves around 36,000 different genders.
What?
That directly parallel how Hayashida described the toad's behavior. If Toad and Toadette were having a bunch of...
Okay, Matt Pat,
in the
come
old
on.
cart garage, boom, our theory would be busted. Instead, we get confirmation that the toad species doesn't act that way. It's almost as though each coloration and variety of toad is like its own sex. Hundreds to thousands
its
of
own
different
species
toad genders,
or
just
subspecies.
like the real-life shrooms. And if that's not enough, in the same interview, Hayashida confirmed that toads aren't mushrooms at all, stating, quote, "This particular riddle might stay unsolved. That's one of the great mysteries of the Mario universe." And
Really?
oh yeah? Never thought anyone would put together that toads were brainwashed husks, controlled by mushrooms operating a vast fungi intelligence network? Huh. Well, think again.
Nah, I gotta lie, Nintendo. You better fix that. You better just... You might as well go ahead and say, dang. All right. The toads are indeed residents. They were here.
More proof? Remember those mycelium we've talked about twice now? The fungus internet? Well,
yeah.
recently, mycologists, that's fancy talk for mushroom professors, have discovered a method for drying out mycelia and mixing it with other natural compounds
Oh,
to create
come
a
on.
self-growing building material that's stronger than concrete. In fact, in 2014,
The flying
at the Museum of
bricks
Modern
from
Art in
every
New York,
Mario
they erected
game.
a tower made of these exact blocks. It's awesome, and it looks really neat, but, turning mushrooms into bricks. Where have we heard that one
There it
before?
is.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what Bowser did to the people of the Mushroom Kingdom way back in Super Mario Bros. For the NES. Now if we crack open the old manual again, we can see that yes, it explains Bowser's first plan was to, quote, transform all the mushroom people into things like rocks, bricks, and horsetail plants, thus causing the Mushroom Kingdom's downfall.
Yeah.
End quote. Still not convinced? Well, good for you. You should always question things people tell you. But take a look at this. The rocks and bricks make pretty good sense right away. We already know what the deal is there. But what about this weird horsetail plant thing? What are those?
I'm pretty sure Matt had even asked this same question during the whole Mario bit, the whole Mario bit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did say that. Probably. My memory is a little foggy, to be honest. It's been a long 3 months in 2025, so perhaps he did.
Pretty weird thing for the manual to specifically mention, right? You might even think it was some kind of translation error, but nope, it appears in both the Japanese and English versions. And then you start doing research, and you begin realizing that horsetail plants are a real thing. In fact, horsetail plants are often used in farming precisely because the plant's high silica content effectively stops fungal growth. A plant that stops mushrooms from growing. From that one bizarrely specific detail in the
fire
manual,
flower.
we instantly can understand that Bowser is trying to stop the spread of some fungus. A toad fungus. Imagine you're Bowser. You rule your own kingdom. You are King Koopa.
King
Everyone
Koopa.
living beneath you is pretty happy doing whatever they're doing. When
Respect
all of a
the
sudden there's
drip.
a tiny little knock on your castle door. Help, help! The thousands of tiny little Goombas say, our kingdom is being overrun by a parasitic fungus.
Oh,
now,
no.
normally you wouldn't carry out an act of war against a neighboring kingdom, but
Yeah.
partly because you don't want it spreading to your own kingdom, and partly because you don't want to deal with thousands of useless little shiitake drones at the gate, you do
Dang.
everything you can to eradicate this fungus
You didn't have
menace.
to do them like that.
From the invaders into environmentally friendly masonry to planting horsetail plants as a countermeasure to keep them from coming back, and even securing the royalty next door in your castle until the plague passes so she doesn't get infected. It's actually a pretty upstanding and logical thing for Bowser to do.
Yes.
And greedy old Mario shows up,
Dang.
hungry for his cake or his kiss or whatever. He touches your axe that makes the bridge fall. Why do you keep that thing around, Bowser? And boom, you fall
That
into
is
the lava,
true.
and suddenly you're the bad guy for all times. Mario, the guy.
That is kind of true, though. Why do you keep that? I mean, that feels like a disadvantage. Like, what happens if one Goomba just accidentally just bump into it and you happen to be there? Like, what happens? Like, I know Kamek is always there with the assist, but what happens if Kamek is sick? You gonna call up his brother? Does his brother know the magic arts of magic?
In the manual is described as, quote, the hero of the story. Maybe. What an odd thing to say. Sure, we may make a big deal about Bowser being a bad dude and everything, but history is written by the winners, Internet. And if you're a good player, that winner is you. And Mario. And Peach. Which brings up one last question. Where does Peach fit into all this? Why isn't she infected?
The ominous music.
You already know the answer. I showed it to you a few minutes ago. Toad, the mushrooms, serve the princess. The American manual changes it to say, quote, serves in the court of the princess, end quote, but a direct translation of the Japanese just says that the toads serve her. And we see in Smash Brothers that she's very adept at using toads to get what she wants. Ever wonder how an airhead who can't tell whether or not she's won a kart race can maintain control of a kingdom?
Dang.
Cordyceps. One word, cordyceps. Peach is the one who brought the toads to the Mushroom Kingdom in the first place. That's why they all...
Well, I mean, you could also probably bring up her father as well, because, you know, ain't no way she is responsible for bringing the Toads in here because, like, obviously was his father and her mother, but I guess they haven't been shown in ever. So, sure, let's just say Peach somehow brought it with her.
Worship her, and that's why in the US for 8 years she went by another name, one that tipped us all off to her grand scheme from the very beginning. Peach's other name, Princess Toadstool.
Oh, did I win?
So,
dang.
At the beginning of the episode, something is certainly rotten in the state of the Mushroom Kingdom. But
not gonna lie,
that's just a theory.
Whoever made that art, heads off to you, bro. Like, god dang. I ain't gonna lie, that was some good artwork right there. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like the video so I know you guys enjoy. Comment down below what you guys think. Honestly, it's kind of crazy, to be honest. Like, every Mario theory that MapPad always makes, it's always trying to call out someone. It's always trying to expose someone as evil. Like we already got Mario, we got Princess Peach now. Basically revealed that Rosalina is actually the child of Luigi and Peach from the distant future. And now we got Toad being, well, the Walking Dead, essentially. It's just the Walking Dead. But hey, only figure out what's coming up next. This has been... Make sure you like the video so you guys enjoy. Comment down below what you guys think. Be sure you subscribe because we got a lot more videos coming up. This is Juan Gamer Plus, signing off.